me never to admit this, but when I was 3 years old, I wanted to be a dog. I'd walk into preschool, straight to the dress-up box. One Dalmatian costume transformed me, crawling on all fours, puppy tongue hanging out shamelessly, eating dry Cheerios with my face straight into the bowl. But it didn't last long. The costume was sent to the dry cleaners and it never came back. But back then, I knew I needed you before I even knew you existed. After years of begging and hounding, I finally won over my parents in grade 1. At 3 days old, you sat in the palm of Mom's hand and I was hooked. 2 weeks later, I was a poodle for Halloween. We called you Bella, but beautiful couldn't begin to cover it. The daughter of 2 champions, you could have been a beauty queen, but you had an undying love for mud puddles. You'd race against yourself in the backyard, tracing your race course till you knew every turn. Up the hillside, down the straight part, round the swing set, through the garden. Up the hillside, down the straight part, round the swing set, through the garden. Up the hillside, down the straight part, round the swing set, through the garden. Darkness could have fallen, but you always thought we brought you in too soon. I bet you never even knew you were an animal. Your favorite foods were pizza crust and teriyaki salmon. Your taste in men ranged from garden boys to construction workers, as long as they were shirtless and willing to throw a tennis ball. All the time that we took you to the dog park, you sat there on the concrete thinking, it's so great we made this place for the dogs to run. Here you were at 13, well on your way to gray hair, so I bet you hadn't planned on cancer riddling your body, constantly flipping your switch from senile moments to episodes of wild animal instinct, hadn't planned on the heart attack that hit you at 6 a.m., hadn't planned that they'd find you under the table while your inhales jumped hurdles over your exhales, hadn't planned that I'd be at Dad's while you were at Mom's and I'd get 8 missed calls and a dozen texts that said, I'm so sorry, before I could ask anybody what happened. I bet you hadn't planned on dying in Mom's arms in the back seat of the car in the parking lot outside the vet's office. But maybe you had. Because when your world is bottoming out beneath you and you don't have a clue how to fix it, sometimes a hug from Mom feels like your only way out. They say all dogs go to heaven, but I never thought we'd lose you so soon. Now, on the days of your birthday and your anniversary, I read Must Love Dogs because you loved Christopher Plummer. I order a large pizza to myself, cut the crust off the very first slice, drown it in that disgusting cheese sauce that I never understood why you liked, and raise a toast to the only girl I've ever fallen in love with.